thấy được gì không? Lô đi, chạy lên, ok. Ok, giờ học bắt đầu IELTS Session number 1. Ok, bây giờ mình vào mình sẽ form, đừng quan tâm. Just do it. Với mục đích là just do it. Mình lại đi học đây mình cần cái tai nghe, và mình sẽ vào phần đề thi online simulation test. Là cái gì nhỉ? Mẹ simulation test giờ thế đúng không? Practice set chứ. Ok, practice set đi, practice set.
Recording 39. You will hear a telephone conversation between the organizer of a park run and a woman who wishes to take part in the run. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 6.
No more than two.
Good morning, Dave Smith speaking.
Hi, could I speak to the organiser of the Preston Park Run?
Yes, that's me.
Great. I was talking to some friends of mine about the run, and they suggested I contact you to get some more details.
Sure. What would you like to know?
Well, they said it takes place every Saturday. Is that right?
Yes, it does.
Okay, great.
Do you know where the park is?
Oh, yes, I've been there before, but it's quite big and I'm not sure where to go.
Well, there's a circular track that goes right around the park. The run starts at the cafe, goes past the tennis courts, then twice around the lake and finishes back where it started.
Okay, and what time is the run?
Well, the actual run begins at 9 a.m. but the runners start arriving at about 8:45.
Okay, so I need to get up early Saturday morning then. And how long is the run?
Well, it used to be 3 kilometres, but most people wanted to do a bit more than that, so we lengthened it to 5 kilometres. We now go round the lake twice, and that adds an extra 2 kilometres.
Right. Not sure I've ever run that far, so I'd better start doing a bit of training.
That's a good idea. But it's not a race, it's really just for fun. And the best thing would be to take it easy the first few times you do it, and then see if you can gradually improve your time.
Is the run timed then? How do I know how well I've done?
When you cross the finish line, you'll be given a barcode, and you take this to one of the run volunteers who will scan it. Then you can get your time online when you go home.
Oh, I see. You collect all the results.
Exactly.
I see. That's great. So, how do I register?
Well, there are several ways. I could take your details over the phone, but it's much easier if you do it using the website.
Okay, good. I think that's probably all I need to know for now. Oh yes, does it cost anything to register, or do you collect money each week?
Well, it doesn't cost anything to register, but we do charge for the run. In fact, we have just increased the charge to £1.50. It used to be £1, but because we were making a bit of a loss, we have had to increase it by 50p.
Okay, thanks. I think I have enough information on taking part in the run.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you will have some time to look at the questions 7 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 7 to 10.
You mentioned volunteers. I have a friend who is interested in helping out. Can you give me some details so I can pass them on to her?
Sure. Well, you need to ask your friend to contact Pete Morn. He manages all the volunteers.
Okay. I didn't quite catch his surname. Was it Morn? M-O-R-N?
No, just a bit more complicated. It's M-A-U-G-H-A-N.
Right, thanks. And could you give me his phone number?
Yes, just a moment. It's here somewhere. Let me just find it. I've 2 numbers for him. I think the one that begins 01273 is an old one. So use this one. It's 01444 73290.
Okay, got that. Can you tell me anything about the volunteering? Like what kind of activities it involves?
Sure. Well, we need volunteers for basic stuff like setting up the course. We have to do that before all the runners arrive.
Okay, so that's a really early start.
Yes, that's right. But if your friend would prefer to arrive a bit later, she can also help with guiding the runners so they don't go the wrong way.
I see. I believe you do a report on some of the races.
Yes, that's right. In fact, we do a weekly report on each race, and we always try to illustrate it.
Okay. Well, my friend really likes taking photographs. She's just bought a new camera.
Actually, that would be great. I don't know whether Pete has anyone to take photographs this week.
Oh, I'll let her know.
Okay, good. Could you ask your friend to phone Pete?
About the volunteering? Like what kind of activities it involves?
Sure. Well, we need volunteers for basic stuff like setting up the course. We have to do that before all the runners arrive.
Okay, so that's a really early start.
Yes, that's right. But if your friend would prefer to arrive a bit later, she can also help with guiding the runners so they don't go the wrong way.
I see. I believe you do a report on some of the races.
Yes, that's right. In fact, we do a weekly report on each race, and we always try to illustrate it.
Okay. Well, my friend really likes taking photographs. She's just bought a new camera.
Actually, that would be great. I don't know whether Pete has anyone to take photographs this week.
Oh, I'll let her know.
Okay, good. Could you ask your friend to phone Pete and let him know?
Yes, I will.
Okay, thanks. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
That is the end of section
Recording
1. 40. You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Factor on sea bus tour. Bus stop completed. Location to the street started tour. Bus stop to the dolphins and shark and bus stop 3 the George and power boats. Chocolate 3 eBay or something. Bus stop 3 something very.
Now turn to section 2. T. You will hear a recorded message about a bus tour. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 14.
Buy ticket for $10. You need to have the student ID card. The bus tour lasts 7 hours in total. The cost of bus tickets include entrance to the cost of bus tickets include entrance to the you can listen to the audio commentary.
Thank you for calling the phone line for the Pacton-on-Sea bus tour. This is a recorded message lasting approximately 4 minutes, and it provides general information on the town bus tour. Pacton-on-Sea is a beautiful West Coast town and has attracted tourists for many years. One of the best ways of getting to know the town is to take the bus tour, which provides a wonderful viewing experience from one of our open-top buses. The tour is a round trip of the town, and there are a total of 4 stops where passengers can get on and off the bus. A lot of people start at the first stop, which is at the train station, as this is where many tourists arrive in the town. The next stop after the station is the aquarium, which is famous for its dolphin show, and which has recently expanded to include sharks. This is well worth a visit and is very reasonably priced. Leaving the aquarium, the bus tour goes along the coast road and after a few kilometers comes to the old fishing village, where you can get off to stroll along the waterfront. There are some original buildings here, but most of the area has been modernized and is now used as a harbor for all kinds of sea craft, including yachts and some amazing powerboats. The tour then heads off to the last stop, and this is where most of the shops are. So for those of you keen to do a bit of shopping, this is the place for you. Our advice is to go to this part of the town in the morning when it is relatively quiet. It does get very busy in the afternoons, especially at the height of the season. This area of the town includes an ancient water fountain where many people like to have their photograph taken, so do look out for this.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you will have some time to look at the questions 15 to 20.
The cost of bus ticket includes entrance to the main hall. You can listen to an audio commentary which has been made by the the weather as well. It's a good idea to bring an umbrella. Don't forget to bring your jacket, or bring your laptop when you book online, something like that.
Now listen and answer questions 15 to 20.
Now, some details of the costs and timings. A family ticket, which includes 2 adults and up to 3 children, costs $30. An adult ticket costs $15. Children under the age of 15 are $5, and student tickets are $10, as long as you have a student card. All tickets are valid for 24 hours, which means that you can get on and off the bus as many times as you like within a 24-hour period. So you could, for example, start the tour in the afternoon and complete it the following morning. The first bus of the day leaves the station at 10 a.m., and the last one of the day leaves at 6 p.m. Buses leave every 30 minutes, and each tour takes a total of 50 minutes. There are many attractions at each of the stops, so wherever you get off the bus, there will be plenty to do. The bus tour tickets do not include entrance to any of these attractions apart from the museum, which is located near the aquarium. Some buses have local guides who will point out places of interest and will provide information on the town. However, we cannot guarantee that every bus will have a guide, and so we also have an audio commentary that has been specially recorded for the bus tour by the tourist office. Headphones are available on the bus, and these are easy to operate. There is no extra charge for these. Just plug in, select the required language, and adjust the volume. Due to the winter months being rather cold and wet in Pacton-on-Sea, the bus tours only operate from March to September. The weather is usually warm and sunny during these months, so remember to bring some sun protection, especially on hot days. And of course, it does occasionally rain here in the summer, so if the weather looks bad, remember to bring some rainwear. The bus tours are available no matter what the weather. At the height of the summer, the tours can get very busy, so you are advised to book. You can book tickets online, over the phone, and also at the station, and at any of the other tour stops. When booking over the phone, you can collect your tickets at any of the stops at the start of your tour. When you do it online, you can print your e-ticket, which you must remember to bring with you. Thank you for calling the Pacton-on-Sea phone line, and we look forward to seeing you soon on one of our tour buses.
That is the end of section 2. You now have half a minute to check your answers.
It's just stop working, display your correct data, timetabling, timetable. There's not enough time for anyone to do it. The system doesn't handle course option. The courses are constantly changing. To solve the timetable issue, just solve the timetable issue. Students
Now turn to section 3. Recording 41. You will hear a conversation between an admissions officer and a manager from the university's technologies department. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 26.
Set up with technologies team. Set meeting chẳng hạn, meeting chẳng hạn, book a meeting. Registration form. Right?
Hello, I'm Randy Agotra from the Technologies Department.
Ah, yes, good. I'm Dave Hadley, Thanks for coming to see me.
That's okay. I believe you want us to do some work for you.
Yes, that's right. I'm responsible for student admissions to the college, and I use a computer system to help process student enrolments and to do the timetabling. But it really doesn't suit the way we work these days. It's over 10 years old, and although it was fine when it was first introduced, it's just not good enough now.
Okay, what problems are you experiencing?
Well, 20 years ago, the college was quite small, and we didn't have the numbers of students or tutors that we have now.
So the system can't handle the increasing volumes?
Well, there's a lot more data now, and it sometimes seems the system has crashed, but in fact, it just takes ages to go from one screen to the next.
Right. Is that the only problem?
Well, that's the main one, but there are others. In the past, doing the timetabling was quite simple, but now we have a lot more courses, and what's made it complicated is that many of them have options.
Right, but the system should allow you to include those.
Well, no, it doesn't. It was supposed to, and a few years ago we did ask someone from the technologies department to fix it, but they never seemed to have the time.
Are there any other issues with the system?
Well, I've been given extra responsibilities, and so I have even less time to do the timetabling. If there was anything you could do, Randir, to make the process more efficient, that would be really helpful.
Well, it sounds like you could do with an assistant, but that's obviously not possible. So what about having an online system that students can use to do their scheduling?
How would that work?
Well, it may mean less choice for students, but we could create a fixed schedule of all the courses and options, and they could then view what was available.
And work it out for themselves. That sounds great.
Okay, so we'll need to decide whether or not to improve the existing system or to build a completely new system.
Well, I'd much prefer to have a new system. Quite frankly, I've had enough of the old one.
Okay, that'll probably take longer, although it may save you money in the long run. When were you hoping to have this in place?
Well, it's January now, and the new intake of students will be in September. We need to start processing admissions in the next few weeks, really.
Well, it will take more than a few weeks, I'm afraid. As an initial estimate, I think we'll be looking at April or May to improve the existing system, but for a new system, it would take at least 9 months. That would be October at the earliest.
Now listen and answer questions 27 to 30.
What are the next steps if we are to have a new system?
Well, the first question is, do you have support from your senior management?
Yes, I've already discussed it with them, and they're also keen to get this work done.
Okay, because I was going to say that's the first thing you need to do, and without that we can't go ahead.
Yes, I've done that.
That's good.
Actually, they mentioned that there's probably a form I need to complete to formally start the project.
Yes, that's the next thing you need to do. I'll send you an email with a link so you can fill it in online. It's called a project request form.
Okay, great. And then what happens?
Well, I have a list of things, but I think the third thing you should do is see Samir. He's our analyst who will look at the system and identify what needs to be done.
Okay, can you send me his contact details and I'll set up a meeting with him?
Okay, that's good. So we should soon be able to get a team together to start the work. Some members of our team work in different locations, so it's not easy to have face-to-face meetings.
That's okay. I'm used to having conference calls, providing they're not late at night.
Right, so I'll send you details of the team, and if you could set up a call, that would be great.
Okay, I'll do that.
Thanks.
That is the end of section 3. You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Ceramics dates back approximately 10,000 years ago. Which figurines were made? The first figurines were made in the era of towards in a number ceramic, yeah. First figurines in the area of Europe. Early humans could not use their pots.
Now turn to section 4. Recording 42.
Chinese porcelain was also
You will hear a lecture about how the production of ceramics, such as plates, pots and glass, first began. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Hi everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about the origins of ceramics. So first of all, let's start off with, what is a ceramic? Well, generally speaking, ceramics are what you get when you apply heat to certain inorganic, non-metallic solids and then allow them to cool. And examples of ceramics are everyday things like earthenware pots, crockery, glassware, and even concrete. So how did it all begin? Well, it all started around 29,000 years ago, when humans discovered that if you dig up some soft clay from the ground, mold it into a shape, and then heat it up to a very high temperature, when it cools, the clay has been transformed into something hard and rigid. And so what did those first humans do with their discovery? Well, they created figurines, which were small statues and which depicted animals or gods or any shape that the clay could be moulded into. And all this activity was centered around southern Europe, where there is also evidence of ceramics that were created much later. The early humans also found a practical use for their discovery, such as storing things like grain, although there were drawbacks. The pots were porous, so that although they could carry water in them, it wasn't possible to store it over a long period. And also they were quite brittle and shattered very easily if they were dropped. But despite these problems, it was many thousands of years before there were any improvements. In China, at around 200 BC, they discovered that by adding minerals to the clay, they could improve both the appearance and the strength of the ceramics. But it took nearly 1,000 years before they perfected the process to produce high-quality ceramics known as porcelain. And once they had perfected the process, they kept it a secret for another 1,000 years. Compared to the first ceramics, porcelain was lighter, finer, harder, and whiter, and became an important commodity in China's trading with the rest of the world for hundreds of years. In fact, it became so valuable that it was known as white gold, and spies were sent to China to discover what they did to the clay to produce such high-quality merchandise. It wasn't until the 18th century that the secret began to unravel. A German alchemist called Johann Friedrich Böttger was asked by the king to make gold out of lead. Unfortunately, Böttger failed to achieve this and soon gave up. But in order to please the king, he attempted to make high-quality porcelain. And after many years of experimentation, he discovered that by adding quartz and a material called China stone to very high-quality clay, he managed to get the same results that the Chinese had been achieving for the last 1,000 years. We'll now look at another ceramic which is made from mixing sand with minerals and heating to over 600 degrees Celsius. When this mixture cools, the result is, of course, glass. The main difference between ceramics made from clay and glass is that clay is made up of crystalline plates which become locked together in the cooling process, whereas glass cools too quickly for crystals to form. Apart from that, the process of heating up naturally occurring materials to transform them is the same. The origins of glass date back to 3,500 BC, but it wasn't until the Roman Empire, 2,000 years ago, that the art of glass blowing and the practical uses of glass became more widespread. One of the more innovative uses was to use it in windows, as up until then, they had just been holes in walls. It must have been very drafty in those days. The Romans were also responsible for inventing concrete. And although the origins are uncertain, experts think that this is largely due to the high level of volcanic activity in the area. The Romans observed that when volcanic ash mixes with water and then cools, it gets extremely hard and almost impossible to break up. The chemical reaction that follows is very complex and continues for many years, and the concrete just keeps getting harder. Evidence of this are the numerous Roman remains that are still standing, many of which are almost completely intact. One of the most important facts about concrete for the Romans was that it can be created underwater. As the Roman Empire grew, the Romans needed to take control of the seas, and for this, they needed to build harbors capable of holding a fleet of ships. Pouring concrete mixture into the sea immediately started the hardening process. And rather than just dissolving in the mass of water, the substance was tough and long-lasting. This strange characteristic of concrete made a significant contribution to the success of the Roman Empire.
at this conference call here. Cả lon. Are you fucking joking? Nên nếu mà loại bỏ đi thì tổng cộng mình có sai có mỗi chỗ này thôi. Nếu chỗ này mình viết chuẩn được. Nhưng mà wrong is still wrong. Mình cần phải review cái câu này lại. Taking photos for the weekly report.
Recording 30. That is the end of section 1.
Report on some of the races.
Yes, that's right. With guiding the runners so they don't go the wrong way.
I see. I believe you do a report on some of the races.
Yes, that's right. In fact, we do a weekly report on each race, and we always try to illustrate it.
Okay. Well, my friend really likes taking photographs. She's just bought a new camera.
Actually, that would be great. I don't know whether Pete has anyone to take photographs this week.
Oh, I'll let her know.
Okay, good. Could you ask your friend to phone Pete and let him know?
Yes, I will.
Okay, thanks. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Okay. Cái này chắc bị sai, nhưng mà mấy cái này thì hơi sàm lòng. Không, mình hỏi cái này là được mà. Cái này là được mà. Hello, mẹ gọi gì con đấy mẹ?
Con uống thuốc đầy đủ chưa con?
Con hết thuốc rồi uống rồi mẹ.
Ở trên còn các cái thuốc khác thì như nào?
Thôi.
Hết sạch à?
Vâng, hết rồi.
Hết sạch thì theo mẹ là phải đi khám lại nhá.
Vâng.
Bởi vì bảo như là cũng trình bày đăng ký khám ở viện Đại học Y đi, nhẽ ra đăng ký hôm thứ hai hay là gì đấy đi. Thế xong đi khám lại đi con ạ nhá.
Dạ vâng.
Khám lại đã điều trị một đợt như này rồi. Là hôm trước em thấy ấy, lần trước em bị nhưng mà em cũng chủ quan, em không điều trị đấy không, vừa rồi em lại mua đúng cái đơn thuốc như thế, em dùng đại loại thế, hiểu không? Thế em qua ấy này thì bây giờ nhờ các anh các chị hướng dẫn em, mà nó sẽ không bằng lòng đâu, bởi vì là nó không được, nó không biết mình như thế nào, nó là không có kết quả nào, tự mua đơn như thế nó thế nào nó cũng phê bình, hiểu không? Nhưng mình cứ nói thôi, cần thiết là mình nội soi xem như thế nào, hiểu không? Cần thiết thì nếu không thì nó không ấy thì để một vài bữa nữa mình đến mình nội soi mình xem kết quả ra sao, hiểu không?
Rồi mẹ.
Không có là nguy hiểm đấy con nhá.
Để sau mẹ.
Không, nhưng mẹ nói là nguy hiểm đấy, không phải đơn giản đâu nhá con nhá.
Vâng.
Mà nó còn lây, con còn vi khuẩn HP nó còn lây đấy. Các bạn còn nói lây ra mọi người ấy nhá. Ăn cùng bát cùng đũa các thứ ấy.
Không sợ đâu mẹ, không sợ đâu. Vâng.
Không sợ, nhưng mà đấy là mẹ đang nói câu chuyện là như thế, hiểu không? Mình giữ cho bản thân mình mà còn giữ cho cả bố mẹ. Con thấy không, mỗi lần con ốm đau các thứ là bố cứ bị ốm biển xỉu theo con thôi.
Dạ.
Ý mẹ nói câu chuyện thế thì con phải giữ gìn cho bản thân con là quan trọng đầu tiên, xong rồi cũng phải giữ cho mọi người. Hai nữa là đến giờ này đã tắm rửa chưa?
Con đang bận, con tắm rửa xong hết rồi.
Đánh răng chưa?
Con đánh rửa, sợ đánh răng rồi mẹ.
Thế được rồi nhá, xong rồi là nghỉ ngơi nhá. Nói chuyện với các bạn chứ gì. Thì mẹ nói mấy câu nhắc nhở sao mà con chưa gì đã cuống cả lên. Thôi nhá.
Bảo việc nữa. fuck? Sai ngu ấy nhỉ? Câu này sao?
Recording
Do.
30.
What are the next steps if we...
Although it may save you money in the long run. New system.
Well, I'd much prefer to have a new system. Quite frankly, I've had enough of the old one.
Okay, that'll probably take longer, although it may save you money in the long run. When were you hoping to have this in place?
Well, it's January now, and the new intake of students will be in September. We need to start processing admissions in the next few weeks, really.
Well, it will take more than a few weeks, I'm afraid. As an initial estimate, I think we'll be looking at April or May to improve the...
Always silent, read the full sentence so the answer is reaction. Should I take this notes? Fuck. What the fuck am I doing? What the fuck am I doing? think I should kill obsidian saja. So, obsidian. Thì bây giờ mình nốt lại bước sang của mình nhé. Bây giờ mình sẽ vào nốt taking system và mình sẽ phần lại IELTS. I think it is listening. I think it's listening a lot. So I'm gonna do this step. Taking oh. nên là mình cũng miss note này. Cái này phải phân biệt giữa new system, cái mình nghe sai giữa new system và old system.
Recording 42.
Are the numerous Roman remains that are still standing, many of which are almost completely intact. One of the most important facts about concrete for the Romans was that it can be created underwater. As the Roman Empire grew, the Romans needed to take control of the seas, and for this they needed to build harbours capable of holding a fleet of ships. Pouring concrete mixture into the sea immediately started the hardening process. And rather than just dissolving in the mass of water, the substance was tough and long-lasting. This strange characteristic of concrete made a significant contribution to the success of the Roman Empire.
Cái lỗi này fountain design. Ensure the get water fountain waterfall. So okay. something right by the road. Chấm làm gì? Bên ngoài. So it dates back approximately 2,000 years. This is really basic. Should be 29,000 years dates back to. Now I know. Listening log. Year to it. Nếu mình làm nhanh hơn là được mà. Ok, được sai rồi. Sao nó bận quá. Cái này đã được bao nhiêu đây? 33/40, 7/5. Should be different, you know. Bây giờ đọc với em đón gì? Chúng ta đến thì mẹ lên. Okay, complete the flow chart below no more than one word from the passage. 1992, the boat was discovered during the construction of an international meeting was held to gather information. There's a 2004. It was 1992 in England. Men were building a new road through the heart of Dover to connect the ancient port with the Channel Tunnel, which it opened just two years later. Was to be the first land link between Britain and Europe for over 10,000 years. A small team from the Canterbury Archaeological Trust (CAT) alongside workmen reporting the discovery to fuck. Mình cứ đọc vào cái tập trung ngáo quá luôn. Đó là 1992. Vào nước Anh, bộ men đang build chung đi tụi ơi. The boat was discovered during the construction of a 1992 building in New York to the harbor over to connect other. From a narrow technological perspective, đơn giản thôi, là gì? Là conference. Nguyên từ là gì? Construction produces. Chắc là admission, agreement, approval, detailed proposal to reconstruct the board withdrawal. And the separate by evidence was beginning to suggest that a British committee shared the link, the channel brought together by sea rather than separated. There was much enthusiasm and support unofficial and personal heritage and their friends. Tương lai mơ hồ, tương lai mơ hồ. Hơi gì vậy? Đâu rồi? 2007 chữ dưới này thôi, 2007 này. The launch of boat The boat project began in England, but it was conceived from the start with European collaboration. A small team began to make the boats. From the Roman lawn and the museum at full-scale reconstruction. Midsection has been made in 1996 primarily to see how Bronze Age replica tools perform. The Bronze Age featured the boat and other objects. Owing to doubts. The Bronze-ish. Meanwhile, the exhibition was prepared and ready for opening in July 2011 at the Castle Museum in Boston. Including many discovery for commercial archaeology and great treasure of the past and reconstructed walls. Đã hiểu luôn, đi con mẹ. The bone is featured with both other objects. Exhibition. One end lay beyond excavation and had to be left. consisted essentially of 4 intricate carved oak planks, 2 on the bottom, joined along a central seam of complicated system of wedges and timbers, and 2 at the sides, curved stitched to others. The seam has been made watertight by pads of moss. Had been removed in antiquity when it was abandoned with magma erosion of the regions. The timber that goes, the recovered. True. Initially, the technology aspect of the boat were examined. It was significant that the boat was found and studied by military archaeologists who naturally focused on its cultural context. With hindsight, phải nốt bad Béo gì đây, zero z. Dover. Được khám phá. True. Evidence found in 2004. Beginning to suggest a British community straddling the channel. region today developed the Laotian border authorities have the duty to inform general public with the common cultural heritage. Not given. How far underground was the boat found? The seam has been made watertight. Moss là cỏ dại. Moss. What aspect of the boat was the focus of 2012 reconstruction? A small team began to make the boat at the start of 2012. Running along outside the Dover Museum. Two factor influence the decision not to make a full-scale reconstruction of the boat. Not to make a full-scale reconstruction of the boat. Evidence that thế là nó có evidence là phải có ví dụ này. A significant number of airports provide mean facility. Okay. A statement regarding the fact that no further development are possible. Statement regarding the fact that no further developments are possible in some areas of airport trade. reference to the level income that meeting facility produces. Level income. Mention the impact on budget and mention of the impact. Example of airport premises but not used for business purpose. Business purpose. Okay, in recent times, developing commercial revenues has become more challenging in airport. In recent times, developing commercial revenues has become more challenging for airports due to combination of factors such as increased competition from internet shopping. Internet shopping restrictions on certain sales, such as tobacco, and new security procedures that have had an impact on the dwell time of passenger. Moreover, the global economic downturn has caused a reduction in the passenger numbers. While those are traveling generally have less money to spend. This has meant that the share of revenue from non-aeronautical revenues actually peaked at oh shit. Some of the more obvious solutions have grown to commercial revenues, such as extending the merchandising space, or expanding the variety of shopping opportunities. Some of the more obvious. Expanding the variety of this could be B, I don't know. Câu này đáng nghi này. Such immoral solutions find the new source of commercial revenues within the terminal. This has been used by many airports in the past year, so as a result, many terminals now much more shopping mall. At the same time, airport have been developing and expanding developing and expanding the range of service that they provide specifically for business travel in the terminal. Conference room and other space for special events. Within this context, you'll discuss how dedicated the meeting facility will be mutually arranged. Sao mình mất tập trung thế nhỉ? Fuck, man. At the same time, airports have been developing and expanding the range of service that they provide specifically for business traveler in the terminal. Đây, business traveler in the terminal. The center. Không phải cái nào. See? Dedicate meetings located in the terminal. When an airport location can be promoted as a business venue. Đây là example mà, đây cũng là example mà. Không đúng rồi. The personal meeting facility example nó sẽ là cái này. Fuck. Chậm quá. When an airport location can be promoted as a business venue. Can be promoted as a business venue. This may increase the overall appeal on the airport and help it become more competitive in both attracting and retaining airlines and the passenger. In particular, the presence of meeting facility could become one of the determining factors taken into consideration when business people are choosing airlines and where they change their planes. Tập trung rồi Tùng ơi, đang đến đoạn D đúng không? May help to improve the airport operator financial position and future prospects. But clearly this will be dependent on the competitive advantage. Holy fuck! Chuyện gì xảy ra với tôi vậy? When airport location can be promoted, particular, the percent of meeting facility could become one of determining factors. Change of plans. May help to improve the future prospect, but clearly this will be dependent on and some of the area investigated include the provision and the use of meeting facility at the airport. To what extent the respondent agree or disagree with the number of statements about the meeting facility at the airport? The fuck? Với số chưa chắc này, câu này chưa chắc này. Đúng rồi. Đi mẹ đọc đến đâu rồi? The survey also asked airport with meeting facility to estimate what proportion of users are from the local area within 90 minutes drive from the airport or from abroad. Their findings show that meeting facility provided by the majority of respondents tend to serve local versus non-local foreigners' needs. Con mẹ đọc đéo hiểu mẹ gì cả. Meeting facility. What the fuck? Are limited importance increasing use of flights at the airport. Users. None of the users of the meeting facility Không sử dụng chuyến bay khi mà traveling to or from them. Không chuyến bay nào. The fuck? None of the user. Con mẹ này Tùng ơi. Survey asked respondent local meeting facility to estimate how much revenue the airport earned from its meeting facility. The average revenue per airport, which is mentioned the impact of the airlines. Everyone come as a respond. These are fairly high proportion considering the recent economic climate. Nền kinh hiệu kinh tế. %, hoặc ít hơn. Nói chung là dùng họ ít hơn. Giờ đúng lắm rồi. Bài updated. Bài updated. Low cost carrier section. That market their business service. Dịch vụ kinh doanh của họ. The supply society we need to develop những cái airport mà lightning facility. Need to develop over other venues. We need to develop. What the fuck? few. That few, maybe a serious commercial version, maybe that only not very specified for you to see. Maybe what I Gonna make it stop shooting.